We're Refugee Women of Bristol, part of Bristol's Refugee and Asylum Seekers Partnership. I would like to welcome you to Voscur's Impact Story for 2021.
Voscur is an infrastructure organisation that has the sector at the heart of the work that it does. The voluntary youth sector has played a phenomenal role over the last 18 months to 2 years. The sector moved from the margin right into the mainstream. And what has taken years, policy development and just getting programs and initiatives up and running, literally happened overnight. Voscur's role is enabling, supporting, building the capacity of organisations who can navigate this new world as we see it.
Active Health came about as a direct response to the pandemic. We particularly noticed that minority ethnic communities, the communities we sort of represent and come from, were hugely impacted. So to sum it up, it's an organisation that supports underserved communities with accessing traditional healthcare services more effectively.
Friends of Caswell Thompson is dedicated primarily to raising awareness within the community. 1 in 4 black men will develop prostate cancer. Some people don't seem to be aware of the dangers.
For us, in helping the NHS, we're getting people active.
Well, Stepping Stone, we started it in 2016, so we're 5 years old. We started it because we are both parents of a young person with actually Down syndrome. So we were really aware how poor job prospects are.
So yeah, we decided to set up an artisan bakery. This is where our young people should learn new skills and their general employability skills. So they're skills that anybody can take and apply in any work setting.
So the health park is nearly 20 years old. Residents, the NHS and Bristol City Council brought in funding to deliver a healthy living centre, and the idea came from residents that they wanted to tackle poor health in the community.
Refugee Women of Bristol empower women and from a refugee background and asylum seeker background to integrate in the community and build up their confidence and be able to move on in life. Since COVID, things have changed a lot for us as an organisation. We have kind of stepped up and learned so many things that we never thought we had. So we changed everything to online and over the phone, making sure they're not lonely or isolated, making sure they have food, their families was alright, themselves was doing well.
So at the beginning of the pandemic, and we were doing awareness about COVID, how to protect yourself. When we knew that there was an emerging vaccination, we kind of had a community insight knowledge that a lot of people from different communities would be fearful. So from there onward, we started doing quite a lot of outreach work. The research actually shows when communities come together themselves that they can make a massive impact.
The football started because I noticed a lot of people are doing nothing at all. So once you reach the age of, say, 35, 40, there's nothing for men that age to do. The biggest impact was the social aspect, because everybody just said how good it was to see each other.
When the guys all work together in the bakery, it's really important that afterwards they all get to meet with their friends. So those relationships still develop outside of Stepping Stone.
You know, where people struggled around their health and well-being, both mental and physical, that has been highlighted, but it's not a surprise. We set up a COVID hub here at the health park. I think we're trying to think about, from an asset-based point of view, how people are part of the conversation, what matters to them, and how can they be encouraged and equipped to deal with their own health and well-being.
We've been working with Voscur over many years since we started the organisation. They helped us to set up the organisation and build our capacity and etc. Actually, there's a lot of support that we're getting from Voscur and the partnership that we have. So I think maintaining that will be excellent. Working together have actually kind of helped us to continue our work and learn from each other and support each other.
Who's at Voscur, who's been really supportive, a lady called Jenny, and she's been really helpful in helping us set up and really been the go-to for information and support. And we've been doing weekly webinars with Jenny, where she's gone from step to step in supporting us get Happy Health off the ground.
And we did not know what we were doing in terms of funding or who to approach, and Jenny was very insightful. She had a lot of experience, a lot of knowledge.
Fantastic help in getting us from A to B. And when I said from A to B, it wasn't a straight, smooth path. There were plenty of hurdles and hills and valleys to go through, and without Voscur, we wouldn't have been able to navigate.
So Voscur have been really brilliant actually. We've had some really good advice on governance and transitioning to a charitable incorporated organisation. They gave us quite very detailed feedback on one of our grant applications actually, which was invaluable.
I would see Voscur is a space, so both digitally and physically, to be able to speak to people. So when I've got a conundrum, I can speak to somebody and hope that they can walk me through a process to get a solution to it.
Next step will be to continue our service, to maintain our relationship with our clients, and that we adapt to their needs as well.
But who knows, if we can grow and we can get more people and more resources, there's so much more we can do.
Phase 2 is actually to open a cafe. It's to give our young people a different setting that they can learn employment skills in, but it also really goes hand in hand with this whole idea that we want to lift perceptions of society.
The COVID crisis, I think, has raised the power of VCSE, and places like Voscur is really important that we don't lose what role we've played within the pandemic.
I envision a city where people at a local grassroots level in some of those more deprived neighbourhoods not only feel a real sense of identity at a local level, but feel part of the bigger Bristol. I think that dual identity and that ability for Voscur to be able to curate that at both levels, at a local community level and a city-wide level, it's a really important role, and I would celebrate the fact that they've done that really well over the last year. Voscur is just very, very good at bringing the VCSE sector together and supporting it and ensuring that it's the go-to agency where that support and nurturing is needed. I have to say, I do wonder what that sector would have done without them, quite frankly.
Actually, that's the word, leadership. You know, the sector needs to look to organisations like Voscur, you know, Black South West Network, Locality. You're the organisations that are leading the way in your specific spaces and places, and you have to hopefully help drive the agenda.
And after a pandemic year, that changed everything. So we are looking forward to working with Voscur and colleagues across the city to make sure 2022 gets better. We hope you will join us on that journey too. Thank you so much.